Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Insurance Television Network. And I'm your host, Joe Battaglia. Again, these episodes, these podcasts are designed to help you grow your business. And that's what it's all about. You know, how do you increase production? Well, there's lots of ways. We always talk about it. But today I want to talk about something that's really important. If you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Culture. So if I said to somebody, what is your culture? How does your culture extend to other people? What does that all mean? So if I was to ask you, what is your culture, right? So a lot of people would say, so many different things, but the idea is the culture is the overall mindset, right? Your culture is the overall mindset in the way you conduct your business. How do you conduct your business, right? Is your business done spontaneously? Is your business planned out methodically? And everything in between. So what we need to look at is, how do you conduct your business and the culture, meaning the habits, the activities, because all of that equals your production. So we want to try to establish a culture for you. Now, if we were to look at habits, because it's all part of culture, habits, well, there are very important things. Habits have to be good habits. There's bad habits and good habits and everything in between. We all have some good ones and bad ones, unfortunately, even myself. So what we want to look at is, let's look at those bad habits first, right? Because we don't want to continue to use those. Certain bad habits are waking up late, not calling people, not following back with people when they leave a message for you. Those are things that don't help your business grow. What about not learning about the competition's products? That's a bad habit, right? Well, let's look at some good habits. Going to the office on time, whether you have an independent office where it's in your home, whether you go to an office inside some other office, whatever it may be. Your office is where business starts. The moment you walk into your office, do business activities, not activities that are going to rob your time. You don't need to go on a computer and search your emails. You're wasting time like that, right? The idea is check your emails once a day in the morning, then at night. But don't spend a lot of time on it because 90% of the emails are probably junk anyway. So we need to look at what is robbing your time from being productive and what are those habits? Well, the habit, again, let's get back to something. Going to work on time. And when you enter those doors, starting the activities that make sense to grow your business. Well, what's some good habits? Again, well, we said going to work. That's step number one. Now, number two, what is it that you're doing in work? What is it that you're going to do in work? You're not going to fall asleep? No. What activities are going to make you prosper? What activities are going to guide you to production? Well, that's very easy. You got to make calls, right? Well, who are you calling to? Make sure, we always talk about building the pipeline. Other podcasts, we have how to do that. Remember, in all these podcasts, they intertwine with each other, right? But the idea is when you want to build something, when you're looking to build a business, you need to start to continue to build a pipeline that keeps on giving. So each day when you walk into that office, think about those activities. Who do you need to call? Look, folks, we're working in a senior Medicare market. You need to start getting associated with who? The senior centers. Who? Anybody, doctor's offices, pharmacies, right? These are all people that can help your business grow. Let me tell you something else. I was watching a commercial yesterday, and it was a commercial on audio, hearing tests by a certain doctor's office, right? And they're advertising their business. Well, what about going to them and letting them know about certain plans that have a hearing aid benefit? You think they don't want to drive more traffic? The idea is start to look at how to network with professions, elder care attorneys. So when you walk into that office, you should have a game plan the night before what you're going to do the next day. You can't be just spontaneously thinking about what to do. Everything has to be methodically planned. The idea is if you have a plan, you're going to succeed. If you don't, you know what happens, right? So the planning is so essential to your success, right? So again, you went into the office on time. You started making those calls on time. You started creating activity. You went out into a senior center. You visited a senior center. You see, these are cultures that you're starting to develop. You're learning more about the products. I had an agent that called me up this morning, and he wants to go to an appointment today. Number one, he didn't even have the application. Number two, he didn't know about the plan. I said, please describe the plan to me. And he said, well, I really didn't look at that. Suppose when you go to that meeting and you go and discuss that plan, the customer asks you about a certain feature or benefit, and you don't know how to describe it, or you describe it wrong. What are they going to tell you? I have to think about it. Those I have to think about it is the worst things you ever want to hear. Isn't that true? You cannot have, I want to think about it. The idea is we know before we go. We know what they need, and I'm bringing that to you. So the idea is get to know the products, right? Going to the office on time, making activities that will drive business to you, knowing products, right? And following up with your customers. Follow up with those people you signed up because those become your advocates. You see, it all starts with a culture. Do you have a culture of following through, doing the right things, or do you have a culture of laziness? I'm sure you don't. We need to upgrade. We need to take our business to the next level, and there's only certain ways of doing it. It's building our culture. Now, if you look, the idea is the culture is from your mindset, the way you think. I'm driven. Are you passionate, hungry, and driven to get the job done? Do you enjoy each day coming into work? I have an agent that called me up and said, Joe, I can't believe I look forward to the grind. Do you? But our grind is not like any other grind you've gone through or you've been through. Our grind is just the activities to make you successful. The rewards that you're going to get from doing this business and creating a culture that will make you, so successful. And I'm sure you want to be that, right? So what you look at is the mindset and the activities. Well, that forms your culture. Well, let's take a look at some examples so we can show this. Number one, if I was to ask you about the Marines, God bless them. The idea is, what is their culture? If I was to ask you, what is their culture? Think about this for a moment. What is the Marines' culture? Well, that's to conquer, to win, to get the job done, whatever it takes. Do you have that culture? Do you? Well, let's look at some other folks. Sports teams. Whether it's a Super Bowl, the World Series, we had numerous teams going through these championships to finally be the final two to make it to the championships, right? What do you think their culture was? What do you think their culture was while they're on their way, moving higher and higher to become the champions, right? What was that culture? Well, they trained every day, didn't they, right? They're experts, they're professionals, they're at the top of their game, but they sharpen their skills every day. The coaches are always there to help them. What makes you think that you shouldn't sharpen your skills every day? You have to do that. That's why we're here, to sharpen your skills. Those Marines, every day they practice, whether it's target shooting, whether it's swimming, whether it's combat activities, they are sharp, they are crisp. You need to be sharp and crisp. Those sports teams, before they go to the Super Bowl, the World Series, they're training like crazy days before. Because it only takes one pitch to break you. It only takes one missed catch to break you. But the idea, if you hit everything right, you will become the champion. Because every one of you has a champion inside of you. I know it. You see, each day, if I don't have activities going on, I failed. I will not allow that to happen. Don't allow that to happen to you. Activities are crucial to your success. You have that insurance license, you need to become successful. Because if you have a culture of winning, the culture of winning will take you to new levels. The Medicare business is a needed product. We are so in demand, unlike anything you have currently. And if you take this in-demand product and mold it to your culture of succeeding, going to work each day, having a plan for what you're going to do, and doing it each day, you're going to be successful, guaranteed. And I'm sure we all want that, don't we? So the idea is, when you look at this, there's a common denominator between the Marines, between sports teams, between political people, between us. We have competition, don't we? We all have competition no matter what we do. But guess what? The leaders succeed. You're a leader. You can do it. So what do you need to do? You know what? Bring on the competition. Bring on the competition. Because here's the bottom line. Each culture has a struggle. Every culture has struggles and adversities every day. But unless you combat those, if you face those, because you have the knowledge and the tools and the resources to overcome those struggles, you will succeed, guaranteed. Culture is so darn important. We have a culture here at Senior Service North America because we're agent friendly. We provide you every tool that you need. If you don't use the tools, well, you know what? I can't force you to do that, but use them. They're there for you. Our tools will help you, guaranteed. You just need to use them, right? So if we just wrap up what this was all about, it's about this culture. It's a culture of winning. It's a culture that you can do what every other winning agent does out there. You got into this game called Medicare. Medicare is very, very lucrative. It opens the door for every other product. But the problem is you have competition. And how you face it, how you deal with it, means the difference between succeeding or not. I'm sure you'd agree. So wipe out all that adversity. Go into the office, start making calls, build activities. Build your relationships with elder care attorneys. Build your relationships with pharmacies. These are things to help you grow a business and watch your income soar, guaranteed. So with that, I hope you like the information I shared with you today. Create a culture of winning because every one of us has it inside of us. You have the power to succeed. You have the power of you. You just have to bring out your magic, the magic of you. So I want to thank you for being on this episode. I'm Joe Battaglia. Look forward to sharing more great information on the next episodes. If you have any questions or concerns, we are always here to help you. Let's grow together. Thanks for viewing. See you next time.